Well, hello, hello from a very, very hot Johannesburg. It reached 34 today, and I felt like I was melting. Um, and I've been really missing my Truth Bomb Tuesdays with my cohort in consciousness, Cara Gubbins. And if you have too, give me a yes, and please join me as I kind of do a solo flight into Truth Bomb Tuesday, but really what I used to call Choice Tuesday, because it really is about tapping into that power of choice, and the power of choice is yours and yours alone. And I really want to invite you to spend time in December before you get carried away with all the festivities and the holidays and parties and celebrations, to just take time to review your year and look at, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. um, what do you want to aim for next year, and stop hoping and thinking that you can meditate yourself into abundance or a better life, because we all know that it has to be aligned, intentional co-creation with you and the universe. And I know this year has been a crazy one, and I'm quite excited to see the end of it, to be totally honest with you. Thank you for joining me. I see you all popping in here. But it's been a big year. It's been a shakeup. It was that incredible, powerful 1111 spiritual initiation that really was preparing us and has prepared us for what is to come, where we want to co-create, what our intention is, look at what we're manifesting, and step over that threshold of those old 3D paradigms into this robust and uncharted territory of these new 5D energies, that are going to dominate. And why I keep going on and on, like a bit of a broken record, to say, stay the course, do your work, no matter what, stay the course. Because I don't know, every year, and that's a lie, because I just want to say, what do I know? And what I do know is we need to integrate and learn before we can go through this completion process and enter into this gateway of the new year of 2019 with focused, intuitive um, demands on how we want to create a new earth. And every year, this time of the year, early December, I never quite know whether to jump up and down and do the happy dance, or go into panic. So I kind of pendulate between one and the other. And I've learned through 20 years of doing this work and 20 years of being an animal communicator and a medical intuitive, that life is not supposed to be a flat line. So if you're in the cold parts of the world, enjoy that last slow slide into that stillness of solstice. And just be very aware if you're in the heat of summer, where everything is just wilting and it's hot, and you're maybe feeling lethargic and you don't know how to inspire yourself and get your vital life force energy up, that the turning point is very, very close. We are entering into a whole new way of being. And if you aren't sure what that means, think of it as really making the demand, committing to be the creator of your own universe. And know that you are in collaboration with the unseen realms, your spirit helpers, your ancestral helping guides, and you have a physical support structure that is there, that sees you in the highest version of yourself. And own your living legacy, deepen into your sovereignty, and truly belong to yourself. And we spoke about this with that beautiful coyote medicine that came up yesterday as the anchor for the week, is look at where you're deceiving yourself. Look at where you're denying or tricking yourself into thinking things are something that they're not. Hi, Sophia. Welcome back to South Africa, you happy little traveler. Hi, Joe. Hi, Ina. Nice to see you here. So I love it. The comments are coming up, and I'm getting a little distracted, but this is really about choosing to be the director of your own life, your own movie. You are the director. You get to rewrite the script. Don't get stuck in those old stories that keep you in a limiting, um, perpetuating cycle of abuse and self-sabotage. You get to claim the power of your choice that is yours and yours alone. So be aware, not afraid, not beware, but be aware of where are you using your life force energy, where are you setting good boundaries, and trusting fully that your purpose map is completely and utterly supported by the universe and all the natural laws, including divine compensation, including congruency, including alignment, and staying in your truth so that you reach your goals and fulfill your dreams and desires, and in so doing contribute more back to the greater good of all life, not just your own. And that really is, I think, the power of collaboration and co-creation and this we too movement that I've been speaking of for years. But it's coming, it's coming into fruition. And remember, December 2018, if you know any numerology, it's a 5 energy, and the number of transition from material to the spiritual realms. I believe all healing takes place on the spiritual level, but we have to be embodied. We have to be in our bodies in order to do it. And if you just kind of look at how 5 is written, it can become a 5, an 8, it can become a 6. And 6 is all about Virgo. It's love, it's desire, it's about lighting that fire in your belly. And it represents as well detail. It looks at service, it looks at generosity, and it also goes to judgment. And the 8, you know, that beautiful 8, that is the infinity sign. Not the Mobius strip of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, but really being the bridge of as above as below, being the bridge to connect and creating heaven on earth. And I've spoken about this a lot on my other YouTube videos. So be sure to go and check out my YouTube video and see what calls to you, and where you're feeling you need to focus your attention on, not drain your energies, and how you can serve in a greater way. Be the lighthouse and shine your light and speak your truth in a way that you inspire other people to do the same. My North Node is in Scorpio, which is the eighth sign of the zodiac. And this isn't about me, but I bring it up because what I've come here to learn, and I think this is a very common theme with a lot of my clients and my friends, is trust. It's huge for everybody. And it's interesting too that I have a lot of Scorpio friends because they say it like it is, and they have a sting that you will feel when you are out of integrity with your own truth. And I think we're all looking, aren't we, to strive to deepen into every day, to turn trauma into dharma, and return to trust, to change your old stories. And just looking at Scorpio, when you think of a scorpion, a lot of people are afraid of scorpions because that tail, when it comes up, you know that you need to back off. So it has 3 representations for me. That is the phoenix, which rises from the ashes. And I spoke about this in the weekly forecast yesterday. So if you haven't listened to that one, please go back and listen to it, and let me know if these weekly forecasts resonate with you and help you in creating strong anchors to really drive your life in a way that isn't forceful, but is born out of love and is in love with your life. And what the phoenix rising really is about, when it comes out of the ashes, out of destruction, and it's about rebirth and a chance, an opportunity to do things with more resilience and more strength and more personal power than before, because you've learned the lessons, you haven't bypassed them, you've learned what you needed to learn from it, and you move forward. And then that second part is that little stinger, where the scorpion actually stings itself with its own tail. Or if you think about the eagle, which really soars high in the sky, and it uses the updrafts, it doesn't waste energy trying to, fly against the wind, but it uses the wind to take it higher, and it soars on the updrafts. expend unnecessary energy, and it gets to a height where it has a widened perspective and a very clear focused um, sight, clear sightedness, where it can see minute details or very far ahead into the horizon. And why I love the work that I do with futuring, because you literally are creating your future from being present in your body and dream what you want to see happen in your own life and in the causes and the things that matter to you, to be able to plan into the future with the flexibility, of course, because nothing is set in stone. Hi, Kelly and Debbie and Paula and Margaret. Lovely to have you here. Hi, Tammy. So these are kind of some of the topics that I've certainly been exploring and going into deeper inquiry, like I do every year. I love to do a year in review in December so that I can prepare myself for the year ahead and really reach my dreams and have a very grounded sense of purpose in my vision for what I want to bring in and what I'm calling into life. And I want that for you too, because what I believe is that no matter what your personal astrological chart is, our collective soul urge right now in this moment, we need each other. We need eyes on each other. We need to go back to that ancient wisdom of our ancestors where we grew each other up. That saying about it takes a village to raise a child, because each person in the village has its own sense of belonging. The sovereignty was, I have a specific gift and I know which medicine, which plants heal and which plants harm, and another one knows about how to hunt, and everybody came together and made each other into the greatest, highest potential version of themselves. And we've lost that in our Western culture to a degree where what I call the great separation sickness, we're feeling more isolated, more alone than ever. Even with technology, there is a longing for more. And this is your soul urge. And it's our collective soul urge to co-create with authenticity and true belonging, really rooting down into the earth, because we're part of nature and we need to care about ourselves enough so that we can make the changes for a sustainable planet, and for more kindness and compassion in the way we treat other species before we wipe them all out by our unconscious actions. And these times are really, really calling us to serve in every way possible, to give of our love, of our time, of our resources, and our idealism, to stand in the truth of that and own it. Be full of yourself. If you're not full of yourself, who are you supposed to be full of? I mean, seriously. Hi, Lakshmi and Rinky. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. These are so fun um, when we're playing together. And if you have any questions or insights, please share what you know, because I'm an eternal learner and I'm always growing and evolving. And this is what I live for, because I know it's up to us. And there is an urgency to use our small but mighty lives to make a difference, to leave, as my mentor Monty Roberts always says, leave the world in a better place than we found it. And I want that. That's what I dream of. And I know that if you're a part of my tribe, you do too. So just take a breath, just let that settle in, and look at what is calling you. Where do you need to spend some slow time? Right? That medicine of wolf that came through yesterday, of looking at what season are you in? Are you in a season where you need to be alone, the lone wolf, the dark horse, and go into the cave in that rite of passage to integrate and heal some of the parts and pieces that have been fragmented, call them home, so that you are in togetherness, in sovereignty with yourself to move forward in a new way. And it is a powerful month for that, to go into completion, into that sort of 9 energy of altruism. You can't give what you don't have for yourself. So it's always about energy management. And that what the animals are constantly reminding me of is to take a time out. I've so loved having a new little kitten in this house that's just so innocent and bright and excited about all the new things he's discovering. And he comes and sits on my lap, and I don't want to move. And it allows me to just be present with that energy and put all, the worries and the concerns of the day aside and just be in that beautiful, blissful, playful energy. So give yourself that this month, and really look at, how do you want to move forward? How are you going to be the CEO of your life? Plug yourself into cosmic Google, right? The universe, the divine, God, whatever you want to call it. It always has your back. And it's our thoughts and beliefs and attitudes that pull us back into separating and isolation and this epidemic of loneliness that so many people are feeling. And get excited. It's really about giving yourself time to complete and integrate and close certain doors that need to be closed. And as I'm saying that, I always, remember my mother saying to me, never close any doors, always leave the doors open. So we're not, there's nothing is finite. Remember that we're infinite beings, and there are infinite possibilities, but there are certain times, especially if you've been in narcissistic or abusive relationships, where you do need to go no contact, and you do need to set stronger boundaries, and you need to own your no and keep appointments with yourself and honor your yes. Give yourself permission to move forward and leave the people that are dragging you down like the crabs in the pot to either come with you or to stay behind. But know that it's not your responsibility to choose to think that you have to change things that are beyond your control. The only thing that you have is the power of your own choices. And it's about managing your energy resources to become your own sort of creative, expansive officer, your CEO, and start really thinking and exploring and meditating and going deep into what do you want to bring into the new year, into 2019. What worked for you? What do you need to leave behind? What do you need to let go of? And then remember too that the solstice on December the 22nd is followed by the last new moon of the year. It's in Cancer. My child is a Cancerian, and it's all about home and nurturing and mothers and emotions. And if you haven't watched my other videos on healing the mother wound and the abandoned child, please go and watch those, because on some level, even if we had amazing mothers, you will find so much richness and insight into how you are being. What kind of attachment style is your sort of dominant one? Are you avoidant because you had a mother that was never there or never honored or acknowledged you? And we're not making the mother wrong, but the wounded child is the parts of what we call the fragmented soul in shamanic work that we're pulling back. We're inviting them back. There's no force, but we're inviting the parts and pieces of us that have got fragmented due to shock and trauma and old stories and places where you didn't have the capacity or maybe the support to actually bring those pieces back home. And this is all about Chiron, the wounded healer. It's the Christed energy, the Christ consciousness energy. And we're in that for another 7 years. It's a cycle of really healing our own wounds, licking our wounds, and trusting that our bodies can heal along with our minds. There's a lot of Chiron activity again this month. So look at your dominant attachment style, explore the victim archetype, look at the martyred healer paradigm that you may be engaged in. Remember that trickster prankster energy of deception that Coyote is so brilliant at showing us in our own self. That's the medicine of the mirrors of the animals that share our lives with us and help us to evolve and heal and grow. They really teach us in those soul contracts that they've entered into with us as our animal companions, or the ones that come in when you're asking specific support or insight into a particular challenge. They'll come through. So start thinking about how you want to move forward in a very empowered, grounded, very rooted into your body state. and see what shows up for you. And as I said, energy management is key. Healthy boundaries are key. They're core components of your physical and mental and emotional states. So if you want to be healthy and you want to feel fulfilled and on purpose, so that you're in more flow and ease and grace and less of the trauma and the drama and emergencies, you have to be mindful of where are you using up your emotional energy this month, and watch with a childlike curiosity. Look at how your emotions and what you think is what you become. Either they're draining you, or they're filling you up, and they're expanding you, and they're igniting that fire in your belly and really getting you back into that heart space. And I think it's interesting to look at too, um, that, you know, in world news that George W. Bush passed away. And I don't really know a lot about history, and that's a whole nother story about my father and his mistress and why I didn't take history at school. But you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh wow!" But he lived a good long life. But I was just so relieved in a way, because there was this almost like this instant release of a huge amount of that old 3D patriarchal density that he held in place as the president of America for a long time. You know, he was a major player, a major cornerstone and an embodiment of that paradigm of domination and power over and greed and control and manipulation and everything that we don't like. And I think what the Me Too movement was quite pivotal in bringing up to the surface, and what we've seen collapsing this year is the death. It's not dying to me, it's already dead. And we're feeling the aftershock, or the die off of the breakdown of that old 3D power structure. And I kind of felt like that, and I spoke to a lot of my American friends that noticed too that there was a lifting of the energy with his passing. And we're going to carry on seeing a lot of this dismantling of the 3D power structure, which is pretty interesting too, because it's not always comfortable. And I certainly know that from living in Africa and looking at the corruption and the misabuse of power of our politics and our governments and our what do you call those, municipalities, and the rolling blackouts that have started up again because they want to push up an already crippled economy. You know, people are barely making ends meet here as it is, with all the petrol hikes and the food prices go up and everything goes up, and they're just finding more ways to steal money by putting the petrol price up while they're draining the coffers of SABC and SAA, and just seeing billions of misappropriated funds that are just so short term in their view. So I know that it's kind of difficult to stay optimistic when you see it happening in real time, where you're kind of in the dark, because they decided they're going to load shed just to make us realize how much we want electricity, so that they can put it up another 200%. And that does scare the crap out of me a little bit, because I know that even my affluent clients that are doing really, really well are feeling it. And I do have compassion and a lot of empathy for the people that are below the poverty line, that are barely making it as it is. You know, and this is a government that has promised since Mandela to uplift the impoverished communities and build houses and give them basic essentials like running water and power, and it hasn't happened. So, you know, we're in for a long ride with this Chiron energy that's all about this wounded healer and this, you know, healing these old wounds of, and making good where our ancestors have created a lot of damage. So just know that anything less than the truth, anything less than justice and a higher thought and integrity, any actions that are not aligned with that, they're no longer going to be supported by the collective energy. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy as they kind of crumble and fall. So just spend some time to really explore the full potential of 2019's creative options for you, and know that you're going to need to stay the path in your physical body. You can't leave your body anymore. You have to stay in this beautiful vessel that you chose to incarnate in order to have sovereignty, to know that you are the creator, that you are the one that has full control and access of your energy, your vital life force energy, but also the energetic forces that are there to support you. But you have to ask first. So, that's really what's needed if we're going to expand into a new earth and our new potentials and possibilities, and not have energy leaks and drains sapping our resources and our life force energy. So, learn to say no to people and situations. If you're kind of feeling like there's one office party after the other and one, family obligation over another, learn to use your energy in a good way, manage your energy, and look at where you're not efficiently using it, where you could become more productive in your energy hygiene. Get more sleep if you need to sleep, rest, hydrate, do the basics. Sleep is so important if you're going to let your body heal. But remember that often, when you start to say no, people are going to, you're going to maybe get some pushback. People are going to make it personal, and they're going to say, oh, you're disappointed me, or you're rejecting me, or you're abandoning me. And they're going to try and manipulate you in a different way. So stay the course and honor your yes, know your no. These are the 5 basics that are so pivotal. And I'm actually giving that little mini course away this month on the Stress Summit that's coming up. So if you haven't subscribed to that or you want it, just say yes in the comments and let me know. And I'd be happy to send it to you as my gift and my thank you, my little Christmas gift to you, because you matter to me. And I know that we're in this together. We need each other, and we go so much further together than we can on our own. So look at your boundaries, look at where you need to maybe be more flexible, maybe look at where you're being too rigid in your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and all the decisions and the judgments that you might have about that. And know that it might be hard to do it at first, but just remember that often the people that you think you are upsetting or disappointing because you're saying no to their requests, it's just an inconvenience, because then they have to ask somebody else to make the dessert or look after the kids or whatever it is. So just remember, December is opening up this beautiful cycle of completion, which is so perfect for this final month of the year. And just think about how you can start tying up loose ends and finishing what you started. I certainly have been in the hustle and bustle of odd jobs around my house that have been lying around waiting for me to do. And I was in a flurry of hyper productivity over the weekend. And then I felt it, I felt it in my body, and gave myself a nice Epsom salt bath. And I went for a beautiful massage today because my body was really asking that. So remember to fill yourself up so that you don't burn out, and finish what you started. Take care of your life's business and reorganize your priorities. Look at where you're taking on too much, because we've got this last new moon, as I said, of 2018 on Friday the 7th. And this is another portal of accelerated cosmic energy that is very, very strong, and strong enough to be able to carry you, to gain that momentum, to manifest those dreams and those desires and those last kind of targets that you want to reach before you kind of start slowing down for Christmas and New Year. And just know that when you start to look at the ancient wisdom of the sages and the teachers that have come before you, and your animal totems and your spirit guides, you can start to harness the potency of not just the moon transits, but everything that is available to you. And it takes an opening of the heart. It takes that childlike wonder and faith and curiosity, and knowing that you can have anything that you put your mind to. Just remember, your intentions are like little seeds that you're planting in the garden of your life, but you have to tend to the soil first. You have to, you know, bless it and nourish it and make sure that it's primed so that those seeds that you're planting for 2019 grow. So if you're not elated or thrilled about how life has gone, hi Teresa, for this year, you get to do it again. Every day the sun sets and the moon comes up, you get to say, I get to start this all over again. And I'm late. I have a client now at 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. But just look at what's no longer serving you, and reassess your commitments and old oaths and vows and fealties and swearings and binding and bonding contracts, and look at what's no longer serving you and let it go. It's okay to tell someone that this isn't working for you anymore, and do it in a loving way. So be efficient in your every action. Use intentionality to stay healthy and fulfilled without burning out and wasting your time on the things that are not yours to change. And just review, ask some inquiry questions like, am I doing the things that I enjoy doing and being a part of? Or have I overcommitted some of my energy resources? Am I giving enough of myself? Or am I not receiving anything in return and I'm feeling a little bit resentful? And ask, is there anything else available here? Is there potential for my energy that I haven't realized or considered yet? Because those are questions that are generative. They open you up to other possibilities that maybe you couldn't see when you were stuck in it. And just trust you're enough, trust that you're supported. And if you want my eyes laser focused on your life, your business, your relationships, please check out Elevate. I only have, I think, 6 spots left now. But we're really going to breathe deeply together, private, one-on-one, online, only 149 Rand. And if we're going to do the year in review, you're going to look at what worked, what didn't work, and where you want to go in 2019, and how we can accelerate your abundance and your health and your flow and your happiness. And I don't know, perhaps you don't know how to attain your mission or your vision and your purpose with your life because you're not being the active participant or player in it. You have to get off the spectator fields and onto the game, into the game. You got to get onto the field. So we're going to breathe deeply, and I'm going to guide you through some core Akashic soul readings, and we're going to integrate and heal all of that and release whatever you're ready to release from 2018 and the rest of your life and all the other lifetimes that you've lived, because you're going to know what it is. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. And then when we start to release everything that's holding you back, you're going to have this very clear-sightedness. And then we're going to go through my visioning process, my pathways to purpose process, where you're going to identify and name your desires in every area of your life, your relationships, your money flows, your health, your spirituality. I'm getting really excited. And I'm also mindful, and I'm 4 minutes late for my client, but I know she's probably watching this. So, but just know I want to assist you as best as I can to getting you an actionable plan that is aligned and it's realistic, that you reach your timelines. We chop it up into 30 and 90 day bite-sized chunks, and we go through bringing in your power animals, and it's just a beautiful way to gift yourself this springboard to really bring in your innate intelligence into all the decisions that you make. So if you want to create lasting change that holds and elevates every level of your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit, I'd love to help you. I think purpose is one of those things that is very misconstrued and misunderstood. It's never one thing. And each of us knows that there is meaning and purpose in everything that we're doing all the time. And it's not one thing. It is the sum total of everything that you're calling in and everything you came here to be. And when you know that, then you can live in your best and highest self and leave a legacy behind so that you are known and remembered lovingly long after you've gone. Each of us knows, that there has to be more. And yet we spend a lifetime bypassing it or ignoring it or burying our heads in the sand. So there's the epidemic of more depression, more anxiety, more chronic health problems, more separation, more loneliness than ever. Because I think people have just lost their way and they don't know how to call themselves back to themselves. That's a little cryptic. But what better gift to give yourself and your loved ones? Because when you invest in yourself, that is the first step in honoring your sovereignty, that you're worthy and that you are valuable and that it's your birthright to ask so that you can receive. And a lot of us don't know how to ask anymore. And certainly we don't know how to receive. So if you're ready to go deep and really connect with your true nature and your desires and create lasting change by being the best version of you, it's the perfect time to declutter all those old energies, release all those old limitations and subconscious patterns that you might not even know are running your life, all the blind spots, so that you can really step into your potency and create from a beautiful place of inspired action. And science shows us, it's all about consistency and intentionality and alignment. And I would love, love, love to be your trusty guide and give you that inspiration and insight into your epigenetic, your ancestral inheritance, your subconscious patterns, and cleanse and clear and purify that so you can rise up like that beautiful phoenix and live and love the skin you're in and live fully your best life. So that's it. Power of choice is yours. And just ask, keep asking yourself, what can you do differently every day to bring more purpose and openness and curiosity to your life right away? And anything that doesn't allow that to shift or change, would you be willing to just say yes now, or a hell yes, or an amen, sister, and just let it go? And I will meet you there. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Lots of love.